Hi, Pete's mom. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good.
So your son is just, uh, he's an energy ball. He is so much fun in class. He he does a good job of making sure everybody feels happy in the class, which is good. I've noticed that whenever I talk to him about literature, he always brings up this book called 11 Thumbs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to understand what the book's about, but he really likes the book, so that's good. I'm glad that he has a book that he can fall back on to read and to get more interested in. When we did a few assessments recently, we saw things that we thought he does really well at, and some things that we thought he can also improve upon. So let me mention a few of the areas that we thought that he did well on. When we did a spelling assessment, a spelling test, that increasingly became more challenging as the words progressed. That he did really well on answering most of those words. That some of the areas that we saw that he could improve upon in that one was called it's a phonics term called assimilated prefixes.
Mm-hmm.
And what assimilated prefixes has to do with is when you have a prefix and the base word, and you bring them together to form a word like accustomed, or other words that you have a double syllable, that you start to run into problems with spelling. And that's common for all of us, whether it be students or teachers. All of us have an issue with that, just because of the weird English language sometimes. But there's actually a trick to it. And what we are working with now with Pete to do is learn that trick, learn some of those tricks. And the word sort is actually a way to do that. With the word sort, what you do is you take a few words, the teacher will take a few words and put them in, put them before the student, and he'll decide how to sort them himself. And then what we'll do is then identify with him or show him the common prefixes and show him why those words were sorted the way they were. Because he'll probably find the same way that we will, that they'll have certain base roots that are the same,
Right.
but then the prefixes may be different. And so when you can identify that difference and see what those prefixes are and what the roots are, then you can figure out why those differences occur and those similarities as well. So as we do that, we'll be able to see an improvement in his spelling. Because we're going to try to do that, and we have been doing that about 2 times a week, and it's been about 2 weeks now, so we're going to try to do it for at least a month and see improvements. And so far, he's liking it, and we can see kind of increase in reading those. And another topic that we found with vocab was Latin and Greek roots. So kind of similar, but with the Latin and Greek roots, one thing that occurs with that is um, we want to make sure that in whatever context he is faced with, that he can identify the meaning of words just knowing the root words. So whether it's in English or math or science, whatever it may be. So what we'll do for that is have the teachers will say words, and when they're words we know are going to be important, or they'll have multiple use across curriculum, then we'll mention those words and say the meaning of the prefix, the meaning of the root word, so that way he can identify them in many contexts. And this is something that we can use all the time, and it's something that we probably should never stop. It's something that we should keep doing for a long time. And it'd be great if you could also do this at home. Find words that you know the definitions to, or maybe words you want to know the definitions to, and you can present those to your son, and as he listens to you say them, then you can break them up between the prefix and the root word, so that way he can see how they're used in informal and formal conversations.
Right.
Another thing is fluency. With fluency, fluency comes down to basically how well can you read something through correctly with correct pronunciation, correct punctuation, and so what we do to help with that is called rereading. And what you do with that is you find a passage that you can read fairly fast without any errors. And then what you'll do is you'll continue reading it over and over again until you get it perfect, but also while you're reading it faster. So that way you can get a sense of the speed that you are capable of being at. And as he continues to do this, we have him doing it once a week. As he continues to do this for the next month, I'm sure we'll see more improvement. Right now, we are seeing improvement as he reads in the 11 Thumbs book, but I'm sure they'll come with that in other readings as well. Another area of fluency that we'd like to hit on is it's called choral reading. Mm-hmm. And just like it sounds, choral reading has to do with a chorus, or you break them up, maybe have a group of the females and the males, and they'll be saying different parts of the passage. So one will take one line, one will take the next, and then they'll listen to each other say it. And the great thing is they're in groups. So say that Pete doesn't know a word, well, or maybe even skips over and says something else. Well, he'll be able to check himself and see them because he'll be going and listening to the people in his group as well. So when he does that, then he'll be able to correct himself and in the future say, oh, well, this is actually what I need to say instead. So we try to do that with different styles of literature and also different groups as well. So once a week we'll be doing this, and hopefully with this it'll also increase his fluency. We saw that as one area that needed reinforcement, and we're going to try to improve that. And also comprehension was another big issue we wanted to focus on, because with comprehension, when we took the test with him, we saw that it was challenging for him maybe to focus, but also to recall what we had said to him. Have you seen that at home when you're reading or anything?
Sometimes, especially when he's not interested in what he's reading.
Okay, good. So, and we want to address that. So one thing we'll do is it's called monitoring. And a lot of it is done with self-awareness. So he'll look at something, some text, and he'll do his best to set goals. He'll do his best to set the speed he wants, and then monitor himself on how he's doing. So we'll do that. We've been doing that about once a week, and as time progresses, we'll keep checking on to make sure that goes well. I think that'd be a great help for him. And last of all, another comprehension tool that we want to use is called rehearsing. So with rehearsing, what you do is you basically take notes on your own on things that you think are really important, key points. And I believe that as he does this, that he'll be able to look back and focus on what he's learning. So every other day, I would say using different sizes of material, of text, to help him to grow in the comprehension is what we're going to do. And I would say that take time at home to do that whenever you have a chance. That'd be great as well. So we're going to be doing that for the next few weeks, and then we'll reassess him, see how he's doing, and go from there. But do you have any questions for me right now?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, if there's anything we can do for you, just let us know, and we appreciate your help.
Sounds great.
Thank you.